Good evening, dear sisters and brothers. Welcome to the evening session of Being Heartful Every Day with Swadhyaya. We are continuing the reflections on the theme of the journey and the destination. Let us look at one of its most subtle truths that both the journey and the destination exist within stillness. In the outer world, we measure progress by movement, by how far we travel, how much we achieve, or how many milestones we cross. But in the inner journey, true progress happens when movement ceases, when the heart becomes still enough to reflect the presence of the divine within. It is in this stillness that we have the traveler, the path, and the destination all beginning to dissolve into one. Daji reminds us that when the heart quietens, it becomes like a clear lake, undisturbed, transparent, and receptive. In that stillness, grace begins to work without obstruction. Then every experience, joy or sorrow, effort or rest, becomes part of the same sacred unfolding. We realize that we are not traveling toward the divine. We are being gently drawn into the divine step by step, moment by moment. The more we surrender to this quiet flow, the more the distinction between the path and the goal disappears. The journey becomes the destination itself, a living movement of love guided by the Master's unseen hand. At the beginning of the path, we depend on effort setting aside time, building discipline, and learning to sit in meditation. Effort gives direction, but grace gives movement. Gradually, as the heart refines, what once felt like a practice becomes as natural as breathing. This transition from doing to being marks an important milestone in our inner evolution. The Abhyasi begins to live in a quiet rhythm guided by remembrance. Life becomes less about progress and more about presence. Babuji beautifully said that when we stop striving and start allowing, the journey begins to flow by itself. This flow is not passive, it is full of awareness and trust. It is the state where effort and grace move together, like two wings of a bird carrying the soul homeward. In heartfulness, the destination is not a point to reach at the end of life. It is a living presence that unfolds in every moment of awareness. The goal of the journey is not to become something new, but to uncover what we have always been: simple, pure, and divine. When the heart opens, the sense of separation fades. We begin to live in quiet companionship with the Master, not as a distant guide, but as an ever present presence within. Then every thought, every feeling, every silence becomes part of His guidance. The outer search ends when the inner connection deepens. The more we live from that connection, the more we realize that the destination is not waiting at the end. It is walking within us always. Dear sisters and brothers, as we move ahead, let us continue to share the joy of this journey by inviting others to experience heartfulness through the master classes and the BHED sessions. You'll find the additional reading material on this theme, also the videos of Revered Daji on this theme on the Heartfulness app, and you can access them under the Sunday tab dated 9th November, where all the material is available. With this, our inspirational reading this week continues from chapter 2, The Journey and the Destination, which is from Heartfulness Way, Book 2 by Beloved Daji. We are reading this chapter again to deepen our understanding, for repetition in the spiritual context brings refinement. Each time when we are revisiting Daji's words, new meanings surface, and what we once understood with the mind begins to settle quietly in the heart. As the text is not going to be displayed on the screen, we encourage everyone to please have their own copy of the book. And you can also read along and allow Daji's words to resonate personally and reveal their inner fragrance. We are resuming the reading from page number 28. Maslow's highest goal of transcendence has its equivalent in Babuji's writing as complete oneness with God. He called it the real goal of human life. And he went so far as to say that if we attach ourselves to that highest goal, all the other goals in our life will naturally fall into place. But what does complete oneness with God mean? We are venturing into the great unknown, expanding consciousness as we go. Our awareness changes as we move to higher and higher vantage points, like higher and higher lookouts for the mountain air. Some people long for oneness with God from the moment they are born, while many come to it later in life or in future life because it is a part of a much bigger cycle of a soul's existence. It is not possible to explain what complete oneness with God means, but there are certain signposts that help our understanding. For example, leading a life where the worldly and spiritual aspects of existence are one. Like a bird flies with two wings, we soar towards our destiny by integrating the inner and the outer. Such a way of life enriches our personal existence and also contributes to the collective evolution of humanity, fostering a deeper sense of connection and purpose. Daji, the idea that we are both worldly and spiritual beings is reassuring. It helps me accept that my weakness and failures, but what you're saying hints at much more. Are you saying that there is a grander purpose for us as human beings beyond this physical existence? Yes. We often talk about evolution as a physical thing, but our physical body is just the tip of the iceberg, the visible part. The center of our existence is the soul, and in between is where we find all the action. The soul is the source from which our potential arises, and from potentiality arises consciousness, and from consciousness arises energy, and from energy arises matter. Our journey involves all these dimensions. For instance, how does consciousness evolve? The field of consciousness, chitta, is the canvas upon which consciousness, chit, thinking, manas, intellect, buddhi, ego, ahankar, and all the senses and energy flows play out. So, consciousness is purified when these functions are refined, allowing us to perceive reality directly. Remember, perception is often biased by the impurities and complexities that have accumulated in the field of consciousness. When the lens of perception is not clear, information is interpreted according to subconscious patterns and belief systems. We see reality through filters. That is why we take up meditative practices to remove the complexities and impurities, refine our thinking, intellect, and ego, and learn to listen to the heart, the conduit of the soul. Dear sisters and brothers, let us take the pause from the reading and prepare ourselves to offer the universal prayer together. All brothers and sisters are being filled with love and devotion, and real faith is growing stronger in them. सभी भाई बहन प्रेम और भक्ति से भर रहे हैं और उनमें सच्ची श्रद्धा दृढ़ होती जा रही है। May our hearts remain steady, our minds quiet, and our steps aligned with His will. And may we remember to live in that stillness where the journey and the destination are one. Dear sisters and brothers, as you prepare for the rest tonight, take a few moments to reflect gently. Did I walk today in awareness of the deeper journey unfolding within me? Was I able to rest in stillness even for a moment amidst the activity of the day? Offer your reflections into the heart without judgment, without expectation. Whisper inwardly, you lead and I follow. Sleep in that surrender, peaceful, effortless, and held in Master's love. Dear sisters and brothers, thank you for joining this evening session. And as we continue to walk together on the theme of the journey and the destination, let us remember that every step in this path is sacred. The more we live from the heart, the more we realize that the journey is the destination and that the destination has always been within. We look forward to your presence for the morning session tomorrow at 6 a.m. Until then, may peace, remembrance, and the grace of the beloved Master accompany you through the night. Wishing you all a very good night.